we will get that out, and we'll just title that one Yahweh.
All right, that's all I had, brother.
Okay. All right, Pastor Hovind. Well, I did, just to let you know, call the office of Charles E. Samuels Jr., who's the BOP director. I spoke to his secretary, Wendy, this morning. I asked if he had a voicemail or if any way whatsoever he could listen to your 5-minute video describing the situation that you're in and Mrs. Sedlak and home confinement, and she abruptly and just promptly and curtly told me no, that he cannot listen to what you have to say and that will not happen. And I was kind of surprised at that answer, but in any event, I recorded the whole conversation. She's in Washington, D.C., and I played for her. She did at least, to her credit, allow me to play the voicemail that you put out last night, the message that you put out last night to her. And so I played it for Charles E. Samuels Jr.'s secretary, Wendy. She listened to the whole thing. She was very courteous, and she said she would do her best to get that message to the BOP director. So that's kind of where we stand on that. She also gave me an email address, info@bop.gov. I sent an email off to info@bop.gov asking them to listen to the message that you put out. And we also filled out a BOP contact form on their website with the link where he can go listen to that message. So we've done everything, at least I think I've done everything that I can to make sure that he hears that message. Hopefully Wendy will pass it along to him as well, and we'll see how that goes. Joyce Riley with the Power Hour, you've been on her show twice, sent a message off and asked what's the status of your situation. I sent her that audio message that all charges have been dropped. We're kind of stuck in a bureaucratic red tape, and maybe the latest status is to listen to that message that you put out last night, and we're still trying to get you to released to home confinement. And I logged into Santa Rosa County Jail inmate locator this morning, and it still has that red note. It's a big red note, and it says on hold by USM, U.S. Marshals. So we're going to continue to pursue it and try to, be squeaky, but also be Christian and nice and, be polite. I'm never angry when I talk to these people, but I am. It's not inappropriate to simply ask what is the status of my pastor's release and what is the status of his home confinement eligibility. Nobody seems to know, but we'll continue to ask until we get some sort of response. So we do have lots of testimonies and Bible questions that came in as well.
Oh, that would be great. But these bureaucrats have an amazing ability to close their eyes and close their ears and plug their ears and blindly ignore the obvious. I mean, it has amazed me for 9 years. They shut off all their common sense and say, well, we don't have this paper. But, they can always, like the Three Stooges, point to somebody else, okay? Here's what's probably going to happen. They will blindly put me back into the meat grinder and ship me all over the country, and I'll get out August.
Yeah.
Instead of yesterday. Now, the only one of their senses that still seems to be working, the eyes don't work, the ears don't work, the brain doesn't work, the wallet. They can still feel through their wallet. Okay?
Yes, right.
And why? But that one is still connected. So if Congress starts getting 10,000 phone calls saying, look, would you shut the BOP's budget, cut it back 30 or 40 or 50% this year? America is broke. We've got the largest prison system on the planet. Simply stop giving them money. It's like when you're a teenager, wants to go run around town all the time because Dad keeps giving him gas money, and all of a sudden you stop giving him money. Hey, Dad, my car's on empty. I need to go run around to the mall. Well, you got a problem, don't you, son?
Right. Amen.
That's how you finally get his attention, by shutting off the money.
Amen.
Thessalonians 3 talks about that. If you don't work, you don't eat. Food is an amazing motivator to get people to work. And so you're going to have to, this is a classic example of why the whole federal system, and especially the prison system, needs to be scaled back. And this is, if my case, even if I do sit here till August, if my case helps scale it back and sends 10,000 tens of thousands home, it'll be worth it. Philippians 1, Paul said, my bonds have fallen out to the furtherance of the gospel. I'm already honored that God would use this prison time to get more people saved and get the gospel out to people that never would have heard. I'm thrilled and honored for that. Now, if it also helps with this crazy system where we can scale it back, next time people come up for election, and anytime there's a town hall meeting, and these people are always crying, more money, more money, more money. Bureaucracies only know how to grow. They don't have a clue how to cut back. This is a classic example of why the federal government should not be involved in the drug war at all. Completely shut it off. Turn it over to the states. If Alabama wants to outlaw drugs, okay. And if you want to take drugs, well then move to Georgia or someplace that allows it. We should also shut off all federal welfare. It's not their business. That would just those two things alone could cut the government back to about 10% of its current size. Just simply shut it off. Not their business at all. All right, that's my hobby horse. I hope that helps, brother. I'm ready for questions.
All right, very, very good. We'll stop and get a new round of questions. Thank you for that. Very good.